Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Awe sale sate, awe sale sate, awe sale sate. Elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza, elele wenyamaza.
Amanda, viva Africa, maibuye, viva! Viva Africa, maibuye, viva! Maibuye! Ya Africa! Maibuye! Ya Africa! Ndimasiari. Tobela. Inhlekani. No, thank you very much, Secretary General of the Maibuye consultation process and the leadership of Maibuye consultation process that has been announced here. The leadership of the province that is led by Comrade Mike Matebe. And most importantly, the volunteers and ground forces of Maibuye here in the province of Limpopo. Thank you, comrades, for coming in your numbers from all the 5 regions of Wembe, or of Mopani, of Capricorn, of Skukune, of Waterberg. And I understand that we are coming as well from all the 22 sub-regions of Limpopo, which represent the 22 municipalities here, which majority have been under the misfortune of being governed by the ANC since the local government era 30 years ago. And we are here as Maibuye to rescue the people of Limpopo from the misgovernance of the African National Congress. Comrades, so that we do not miss each other, we have called this meeting, it's an internal meeting, but we said from the beginning of this process that there is nothing secretive that we are doing as Maibuye. And the reason there is nothing secretive we are doing is because we do not want people to think that they can plant spies and infiltration in our movement. So everything else that we do is open, it's not a secret. And what is open is that we want to start a political movement which will be registered as a political party to contest elections and overthrow the government of the ANC, the government of the DA, and the government of these other small parties that are in government now, and institute in place a revolutionary government. That is exactly what we are going to do. That is not a secret. That is the process that we are engaging in. But what we have announced, comrades, is that before we finalize and institutionalize this movement as an organization, we should speak to all the people of South Africa so that they can have input as to what should be the nature and character of this movement. There are certain principles and values that already we have ring-fenced and say that this will define us. But we want this to be necessarily a people's movement. That is why yesterday, in the village where I was born and bred, And we are happy to announce that the people of Mahonisi said that please go ahead and constitute Maibuye as a revolutionary movement. And we also had discussions with the traditional royal leaders and pastors from different villages of Collins Chabane municipality. And them too said that we don't understand why you are even asking us whether we must start a political movement or not, because you must go and do it. We're going to give you our full support. And this morning we had a very fruitful discussion with Shilunga Wavumbi Riminga Husiminga, whose heritage and family as one of the dynasties or kingdoms here in the province of Limpopo have played a very important role in political development, but also in community development. And we had a very fruitful discussion as to how we move forward. And as always, we also gained confidence and wisdom as to just what we should do. Now, comrades, we are going to listen to all of you today. But to speak about organizational process, what I wish should be the outcome of our engagements today is that we must have shape from all the 22 sub-regions. We must know who are Maibuye people in all the 4 sub-regions of Capricorn. So we must know in Blueberg as to who are the people that are our points of contact. We must know in Lipele Kumbi as to who is our point of contact. In Mulemole, who is our point of contact. Here in Pulukwane, there must be presence of Maibuye. In Mopani, we should know who are the people that we should interact with. I understand the provincial treasurers from Palabura. There must be proper presence in Palabura, in Greater Guyani, in Greater Letaba municipality, in Greater Tsanin, in Maruling as well. We need solid presence in all the sub-regions of Skukune. We need to have a structure of Maibuye Africa in Elias Mutsalid, in Ifra Mokhale, in Fetahomo Tubatse municipality, and Makudu Tamar. We also need to have a solid presence of the movement in Vembe, in Makado, in Musina, in Tulamela, and Collins Chabane municipality. We also need strong presence of Maibuye in Bela Bela, in Lepalale, Mudumule Mokopung, in Mkhalakwena, the deputy coordinator of the province comes from Mkhalakwena, and also in Tabazimbi. There are so many wrong things which the mining corporations are doing in Tabazimbi and also in Lepalale. And the people of Lepalale and Tabazimbi have not been having any fighting instruments to fight their battles. The same in Skukune. There are so many exploitative things that are done by the mining corporations there. And the people do not have a defense mechanism. So Maibuye must be a defense mechanism, must be a fighting instrument in the hands of our people. The mining corporations must know that now there is a dependable and reliable movement that is going to represent the interest of our people. Not those ones who will come and say we are demanding this, and then when their leaders are called on the side, they go and tell people to calm down. We can assure you, comrades, that there is no one who's going to tell us to calm down. We're going to fight until we have got the benefits of our people. It can't make sense that you have got coal mines in Lepalale, you have got platinum mines in Skukune, and there are no clinics, there are no proper roads, when those mines are making billions of rands every month. We should refuse as the people of Limpopo to coexist with richness when we are poor ourselves. We must say enough is enough. And we have to say so because these other formations that exist here are not an alternative. They are not true representative of our people. So we need to go to mobilize in all the communities. Now, comrades, we already, the national chairperson has indicated that after this engagement, we are going to the Free State to meet with the volunteers of the Free State on Tuesday in Bloemfontein. But then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be in the Eastern Cape to meet with two of the kingdoms that are recognized in the Eastern Cape, but also meet with the volunteers of Maibuya in the Eastern Cape. And thereafter we'll go to Mpumalanga to meet with the kings in Kangala, in Kwandebele, former Kwandebele, and then we'll go to Bushbuck Ridge. We'll go to Mbombela, we'll go to Nkomazi. We'll also go to Gert Sibande region to interact with the comrades, but also meet all the volunteers of Maibuya in Mpumalanga province. We'll thereafter go to the province of KwaZulu-Natal to interact with volunteers of Maibuya. So we have got volunteers of Maibuya in all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal. And we've got invitations from different kingdoms and paramount chiefs, kings in different parts of KwaZulu-Natal whom we are going to visit. And ideally what we would want to do when we get to KwaZulu-Natal is to, before we visit all the other royal leaders, we should first go and appraise and see in Dulamiti, Isilo Samabanda, King Mrs. Zulu Kazulitini, who despite so many attempts to destabilize him, is the legitimate king of the Zulu nation, who must be given the necessary respect by everyone, and is the king that will forever respect and will hold in high regards. He is currently, we have seen on social media, he is currently in London, but to be hosted not by the British people, there to be hosted by Africans who are in London, to give him an award of African or Africa's Achievers Award. And we are fully in support and congratulate him on the work that he is doing. Now, comrades, when we leave here, we are going to circulate this membership form, which is a volunteer membership form. This membership form, when we declare, it says that I voluntarily complete and sign this form to express my support and willingness to participate in the Maibuya consultation process. I understand that this form serves as a volunteer registration and will later be converted into formal membership of the political party emerging out of this consultation process. I acknowledge and accept the founding values, principles, and objectives of Maibuya consultation process. I consent to the processing and secure storage of my information for organizational purposes in line with the party's relevant privacy laws and documents. I confirm that my participation is of my own free will without coercion, and I agree to abide by the discipline and the conduct of the party's democratic processes. Now, comrades, if we want to found a sound and disciplined organization, there are certain things that we must accept. I think some of the issues the Secretary General has already made highlights on. One is that we are not going to allow gatekeeping in Maibuye. The membership is open to everyone. So if you had differences with whoever in Mkonto Wesizo, which does not exist here in Limpopo, if you had differences with anyone in the EFF, you can't migrate with those differences to Maibuye. The differences that you had in the other side are not allowed this side. This side, we want people who are disciplined, who are starting from scratch. We do not want problems that are going to come on what so-and-so did, then these ones left us with the taxi when they were going to Orlando Stadium. All of those things that don't apply here. There are no problems of Orlando Stadium. There are no problems of anything here. Here we are starting from scratch, and everything else that we do must be guided by the decisions that we take. The other issue, comrades, is that we are not going to allow anyone in Maibuye to be disrespectful to anyone, including political opponents. Let's establish ourselves as a formidable movement that respects everyone. And here in Maibuye, we are compelled to respect and honor royal leadership and religious leaders. We are not a replacement of royal leadership and religious leaders in our communities. If anything, let's try and speak to all of them. The other principle, comrade, is that we are building a unitary organization, one organization. So once the national leadership has given a directive of what is to happen, what is to be done, such decisions are going to be binding in all the structures and volunteers of Maibuye. So there is no one who's going to say, yeah, we know national is saying we must take this direction, but as Mopani, we want to take a different route. It won't happen like that. The Secretary General has already said that we are in the process now of identifying leadership. And if you ask what criteria do we use to choose leadership, the process which we engage in, that we got to engage in selecting the leadership, we call it deliberative democracy. So deliberative democracy means that before we identify leadership, we sit down and discuss. If you say this person must be convener, we say why. There must be political reasons as to why a person must be a convener of the province, of the region, of the sub-region. And it must be sound political discussions. Not, I want this person to be convener because we speak the same language. Not that I want this person to be convener because they gave me money. It's political discussions that we follow, and deliberative democracy will form part of the leadership selection process of Africa Maibuye movement, so that there is proper political reasoning on all the leadership that is identified for different leadership roles. But what is good about that process is that if we discussed that we are identifying this comrade as a convener or coordinator, if they move out of those values and characteristics that made them to be given that responsibility, it means we are allowed to change our minds as well. If your task as the leadership of the province is that we are going to live, at least for this week, we will live at least 2,000 membership forms per region. It's not impossible to could recruit 10,000 members here in the province of Limpopo within the next 14 days. And if those who are identified as leadership of regions and sub-regions are unable to give us 2,000 members in Mopani, in Vembe, in Capricorn, in Skukune and Waterberg, then they must explain to us why should they continue to associate with us. Because we are not people of laziness. We are not people that do not know what we are doing. We are establishing the organization, the movement. By the time we announce the movement, its colors, its constitution, and finalize everything, there must be presence of the organization in all the wards of this province. We can't announce an organization and people still are looking around for it. Where is this organization? We do not want to exist in the media. We want to exist on the ground. There must be Maibuya in all corners of this province. I can tell you now, comrades, that if we start our work today consistently and persistently, come 2026, we are going to take over these municipalities in this province. We are going to rescue the people of Limpopo in all the regions and give proper and clean government. And we are not going to be just a replacement so that we can be tenderpreneurs and steal money of government in the name of revolution. There are political parties in this country, in this province, who even when they're in opposition, they negotiate tenders everywhere. They are buddies with the ruling party. Go and check what was the crisis in Tabazimbi. Those who come from Tabazimbi will know. Go and check what was the crisis in Modumole Mokopong, because those municipalities were hung. And go and ask who are the people who have been negotiating tenders there. Go and check the crisis here in Polokwane with no water, with a dysfunctional municipality. Go and check who has been negotiating tenders here. And the people had voted for some of these people who they view that they are going to represent an alternative, but they go and join in the band that together with it. That is not going to be Maibuya. Maibuya must be a true alternative that must bring hope to the lives of our people. That must change as to how we govern all the municipalities here. Comrades, the political question that we are making an assessment on is that whatever you do, you can't save the African National Congress. It's dying and is going to die forever. Even if we are not there ourselves, you can't stop the dissipation of the African National Congress. It's terminally ill. How do you have an organization with a police minister who associates with criminals? And it's not like these comrades did not know. It's not like Ramaphosa did not know the activities of a minister of police. He knows exactly what they are doing. That is what they do, all of them. They know it, they know very well what is happening with the... And the people are supposed to be protecting us from criminals, but they're protecting criminals against us. And you think that such an organization must continue to be given power to lead society. We can't allow that to happen. Now that we know and the people of South Africa are beginning to show that the ANC is dissipating, we are now left with two biggest black political organizations. One is Umkhonto weSizwe. The less said about Umkhonto weSizwe, the better. Some of us had thought that we can consolidate all the progressive forces around Umkhonto weSizwe. But we can tell you now without doubt that it is not a correct instrument to lead the revolution in South Africa. And this we are not gossiping about. We said it inside Umkhonto weSizwe. We told President Zuma that if you continue to run this thing like a family business, it is going to lose grip. It is going to move out of the way. It will not be a true alternative for our people. So we are not gossiping. We can't gossip. We speak openly. Even when they were taking money for wrong purposes, we told them that stop stealing money of government that is given to the organization. Because that is what we are. We don't go around gossiping about people. And there is nothing, do you know one thing that we have about this politics is that we can communicate and say anything and no one will do anything about that. Because we are not involved in wrongdoing. So there is no one who can say, yeah, you are speaking about this, we're going to expose you. There is nothing to expose about me. Nothing. There is no one who can threaten me with anything. That is why, even about those other ones, I don't want to even talk about. There's nothing. But if you were to check the conduct and the things that they do, you will realize that our people are defenseless. Our people do not have any fighting instrument. That is why we have to constitute Maibuye Africa as an alternate movement that is going to inspire hope for the people of South Africa. And the good thing about the clarion call of Maibuye Africa is that despite what appeared to be ideological or political differences between those who are associated with the Congress movement and those who are associated with the Pan-African movement, the Pan-Africanist movement, and those who are associated with the Black consciousness movement, when they were fighting against colonialism and apartheid, what united them was the clarion call of Maibuye Africa. Africa Maibuye. So that is the uniting spirit. 2/3 we want, but 2/3 must happen under Maibuye Africa. So that we can change the lives of the people. Not under some Mickey Mouse organization that is run by a family and take family decisions as if it's political decisions. And comrades, we are not going to speak bad or insult President Zuma or any other president of any organization. We are not concerned about that. Our focus is on developing a common agenda, a common program of true liberation, a common program that is going to emancipate our people. And that is what all of us must work on. There is nothing that constitutes the future now politically except this program of Maibuye Africa. So comrades, thank you very much that you came as volunteers of Maibuye Africa from all the 22 sub-regions of the province and all the 5 regions. We have to consolidate a clear framework. I think before we even go any further, we must get to listen so that the leadership here leaves the province with a clear view as to what is the thinking in terms of all the sub-regions and what do we do differently. How do we strengthen ourselves? When we speak, comrades, let us speak in the languages that we are comfortable with. So even if you don't understand the other person's language, let's be tolerant enough to listen to each other. Ourselves here in the Presidium, we understand all the languages that you will speak in. So let's be tolerant when comrades are making input as to what is to be done. How do we strengthen the organization? How do we differentiate the organization from other organizations? We are a very lively organization. We start already, we have got medical doctors that go with us everywhere. There is no organization that have got medical doctors and health practitioners with them every day. Ourselves, we are safe. So when you come to a meeting of Maibuye, you know that you are safe all the time. Someone was saying that when we are doing the screening there, we are testing drugs of people before they join Maibuye. Drugs are taken elsewhere, not here. Thank you very much, comrades. We are going to allow the leadership to facilitate the process of taking hands, and then we'll receive inputs from all of us. If there are issues that we have to respond to, we are going to come to respond and give a clear way forward on what is to be done. Amandla, Maibuye, ya Afrika, Maibuye, ya Afrika.